Oh, Tom. You know what? Tom? That's it. Minute's over, Dan. I'll tell you what.
Minute's
You know
over.
what? That's it. I'm done. You finish it up with him, Dan. I'm out of here.
Mike's signing off.
You can't do that, Tom. You can't. You can't just. There's working blue, and there's what you just did.
I'll move over, Swanson. I'm driving. Hey, Smails! My dinghy's bigger than your whole boat!
Welcome back to the Caddyshack Minute, the show where we analyze and discuss and introduce our nieces to people in the film Caddyshack 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor, and I'm joined by Mike DeMaria.
Aha. Ho ho.
And Dan Lewis.
Double turns.
Spalding. And we were here talking about minute 21 of Caddyshack. And minute 21 begins with Judge Smails explaining that Lacey has been sent to him for the summer, and it ends with Smails assuring Al Czervik that he never slices.
Oh, that's a very tense minute, because it ends with, you don't know, he's about to hit the ball. I never slice. And who knows, is he going to slice into the woods? We don't know yet.
Have to wait till next week.
He seems very confident. He seems like a talented golfer. I'm sure he'll do fine.
But Murphy's Law comes into play here.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There's some hubris, though. I never slice. It's got that unsinkable ship kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
The minute starts with a line that I've said to myself many times as a kid, because it seems like his delivery of this is, whether it's intentional or not, or he just had like an aneurysm during it. But he goes, Lacey's mother sent her to us for the summer, and he's like trying to spit it out.
It's super weird.
Yeah, it's like it's a bad take or something.
A bad take, or he just had some sort of a snap in his brain or something. But
he's trying not to sneeze.
Yeah,
it does. So. Yeah, it's because it almost comes across as like he's being careful about how he words it or something.
Right, and you think the director would say cut, but maybe then Harold Ramis said and cut.
Yeah,
in other words, I like that.
I think we can do this,
and
we can work with it.
Yeah, and cut. Very nice.
This is Lacey's first line, isn't it? She finally gets to speak. We've seen her in the pro shop, and we've seen her pause purposefully in two different pausing locations to titillate people.
Yeah.
And now she gets to speak.
And this scene is in the first. Dr. Beeper says his line. It must be a change from Jury Old Manhattan. He's a creep.
Very creepy.
Oh, totally creepy.
He's squeezing his hand up and down like he's looking her over. I don't like.
He's putting his glove on like a villain might put his glove on.
Can't wait to
like I will kill you, Mr. Bond.
Yeah. Right after this drink.
Yes.
Just say right
it's
after
a
this
creepy
drink.
line. Say when right after this drink.
No, but it is, and it's stuck. I remember seeing it as a kid too, and it stuck with me. I don't like this guy. This guy's a creep. He's not a good doctor. He's got some woman sitting in the chair with a tube down her throat.
Yeah, as we speak.
At least one.
Yeah.
We don't know that he doesn't do this every day at tea time.
Yeah, and he's squeezing that hand up and down like he's some sort of like he's got some plan. He's a mess. I don't like him.
Like, is he going to hit her? Is he just going to punch her?
Yeah.
That's the kind of that move. He's like, okay, hold still.
Yeah.
Hold her still, Judge.
Must be a nice change from Dreary Old Manhattan. By the way, that's a line that I can say that we've all shared over the years many, many times. Dreary Old Manhattan.
Yes.
Almost every time I refer to Manhattan, I refer to it as Dreary Old Manhattan.
Now, would we quote this line as much if his delivery weren't so exaggerated and drawn out like this?
It's a little Connecticut.
That is, I guess it is. It is a little hoi polloi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, does hoi polloi mean like the fancy rich people, or does it mean the unwashed masses?
It's the opposite, which is what makes the line later so funny.
That's what messes me up. Okay.
A hoi polloi, right, exactly. Because he looks nice, but it's like, oh, no, you're just hoi polloi. Don't try and dress it up, kind of.
Oh, right.
But that comes later. But that being said, a hoi polloi. Well, not, sorry. I think of it as a hoi polloi. It's just hoi polloi. It's not a hoi polloi.
But the Stooges, the Three Stooges, had a short called Ahoy Polloi.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, great! I love that kind of
Save it
stuff.
for that minute.
That's terrific. Save it for the Three Stooges minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bishop Bickering has a polo shirt with a cross sewn into it instead of the little polo dude.
Ooh,
Is that right?
Yes, which I think is incredible. And I don't know if these shirts, I can imagine these shirts existing in real life, in the real world. Like maybe people of the cloth can go to some like special Ralph Lauren store and get these. But I kind of want them to have made this shirt for the movie as like a little sight gag that maybe only minute by minute people would pick up on.
Custom made. That's a good question. Did they
Just a
find it?
little black cross. It's crazy.
It's got to be custom made for the movie. Who's going to sell something like that? Christian golf shirt?
Sure.
But they need to set him up as very Christian so that later when he falls from grace, it's a big fall.
Yeah,
So they got to get all the little details in there.
He's so Christian. He's got a Jesus polo shirt, a Christ polo shirt.
It'd be great if you found one of those now. What we should do is see if we should test this by seeing if we can find if they still make these.
Yeah.
If they do have one, I'll buy it and then I'll wear it around, and then one out of every 500,000 people will go, "Hey, Caddyshack."
Yeah, you might get like 100 people going, "Oh, hello, Father," or something, or "Hello, Bishop." But then, the rest will be like, "Rat farts!"
Rat farts! Yeah, once in a while, some guy, and I'll be walking toward him on the busy street in the morning, going to get my bagel or whatever. And it'll be just some businessman with 2 bags in his hands. He'll just drop the bags on the ground and go, "Rat farts!"
Shake his fist at the sky.
I'm not a bishop. I'm a man, same as you.
I bought this shirt online as a gag. There is no God.
So,
I was just tired of having fun all the time.
yeah, she's very sarcastic, coming off very coquettishly in that kind of.
Ha-ha. Ho-ho.
Oh. Now, do we get immediately from this exchange that she is a fast, loose kid, and she's been sent to Judge Smails to get her out of Manhattan, where all the bad influences are?
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
We get that immediately. Do we know that because we've seen the movie, or do we get that from this right here?
Hard to take myself out of my 25-year history of seeing this movie.
I mean, her attitude is very like, "I'm bored. I don't want to be here." And if she's an attractive young woman from Manhattan, you can imagine that she's having a good time.
But Lacey's mom should have just blamed herself because she named her Lacey Underalls.
Yeah, really.
Right.
What was she thinking?
Yeah, if your last name is Underall, you maybe want to stay away from like Lacey, Rosie, anything that might be a modifier. Right?
Turkey. Supple.
Right, supple Underall. Limpid.
Grabbable. This is my niece, Grabbable.
But yeah.
All right.
Mike's not having fun.
You're not having it, Mike.
No. And
Doesn't like the word play.
No. Because every word's got to be, it's got to be a Scrabble word. It just can't be a normal word. It's got to be opulescence or, I've noticed this throughout when you were describing the milk in the pitcher, it's opulescent.
That's my I think I said opalescent.
Opalescent.
But
yeah, that's true.
I recognize that too. I go back through the minutes and I sound like a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
You guys listen to this show?
Yeah.
I've been listening. I'm one of
it's dedication.
Yeah. I'm one of 2 or 3 that do.
You're a hardcore fan.
Yeah.
I'm one of our biggest fans. I don't like that Jerko keeps using the 50-cent words, though. All right, I'll try and stop, Mike. I noticed from the election that it's easy. You're not going to get to a lot of people with the big words. You got to say words, as we heard in the debate, like police friendly and whatever it was that he said.
You can't land a punch with nuance.
Yeah. Right.
That's pretty good.
It is.
Tell that to Dr. Beeper. He's getting ready to punch nuance.
He's ready to do something with that gloved hand. It's very, very off-putting, and I don't like this guy, and I never did.
Yeah. We already didn't like him, and now he's just getting creepier.
Yeah, those are guys where it's like, there's a little bit. We like Smails, right? We love the actor, so it's hard to totally hate Smails, even though he's set up as the evil guy. And it's like D'Annunzio is set up, and we realize that there's definitely some moral ambiguity with D'Annunzio. Mm-hmm. But with with Dr. Beeper, it's just he's just a straight up bad character.
Yeah.
And we got Spaulding. Every time you think back on Spaulding, one of the first things you think about when he pops in your head is fat, like fat or lumpy or doughy. Right. But in the scene, he's got profile. He's actually a slim guy.
Yeah, he's not that big. No,
but he does have a kind of. He has this imprint on you. Yeah, Spaulding is some guy who wants a hot dog, a hamburger, or potato chips.
Right. He's a slob.
Yeah, I think it's just he's a slovenly.
Yeah. He can be slovenly without being portly.
Yeah.
Or obese.
Am I allowed to say, Mike? Am I allowed to say that he has a doughy countenance? Can I say countenance?
Yeah, you could pay as much as you want for your words. I don't care. It's your money. You want to throw around those. You want to use those big high dollar words. I shop at the dollar store. That's where I buy my words. And those are the words that I'm going to use.
Well, do you weigh the words by the letter or by the syllable or by the vowel? Like, how do we know?
No, I'm a la carte.
Yeah,
I'm an a la carte word shopper. You wouldn't believe with inflation what words are. A 50-cent word you should be able to get. It's $2.50 now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, then, I would not say countenance.
He goes to Whole Foods to buy his words.
Yeah, with the gluten-free consonants.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the actor who plays Spaulding, his name is John F. Barman Jr., and it's that's a kind of a name that suggests that he has like a career in show business, or that he comes from a show business family. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's a junior, John F. Barman Jr. It sounds like I don't know. It's got a kind of like Lionel Barrymore, kind of like, he's maybe from a long line of barmans.
Yeah, like maybe his dad played the lead in Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, right. Exactly, but it's not the case. There are no barmans. He's the only one. Right. And on top of everything else, he only was ever in Caddyshack and I've got it here, the Caddyshack, The Inside Story, which aired on TV. Those are the only two things that he's listed to have been in.
That's actually great. I was hoping you would say that. I want him to be just an element in this movie and not an actual person out in the world.
He's Spaulding.
Right.
Yeah, he's Spaulding. That's it. And where do you find Spaulding? Caddyshack, and that's it.
Well, he didn't want to take any other roles because he didn't want to be typecast as a doughy, snotty nephew for every single movie.
Right.
Every time someone needs a doughy nephew who is in better shape than he looks, he would get called. And he would have to pass on the role, looking for something meatier.
Mm-hmm. Now you're starting to use good words.
Right. Thank you.
Those,
You like meteor better than
Well, he's doughy.
Oh, okay.
Could have used something else.
You think doughy's a weighty word? You think doughy's a 50-cent word?
No, I'm saying he's using the right. He's speaking to the people now.
Okay. Okay. I got it.
He's doughy. Mm-hmm. I have the best words. People love my words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
come and get words.
And then Czervik and Wang exit the clubhouse. They're there. You notice they're greeted again by Drew Scott.
Okay, now here's a continuity problem. There's a continuity problem here, and it's pretty glaring. Before they cut to him walking up to the Scotts, there's a shot of behind Smails. You could see the Scotts, and one of the, or at least the Drew Scott has got the martini glass.
Yeah.
There's two women standing right next to him, also with martini glasses.
Oh.
It cuts immediately back, and then it cuts back again, and those women are gone. But it's like a matter of a split second.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So they're having like a conversation. There's two women, Drew Scott and his other friend, which maybe they're brothers because that's the Scotts. I don't know. But
I was wondering who the other guy was. There's no indication who the other guy was. I recognize Drew Scott now, but
he's always with that, isn't he? Is that the same guy that he was playing cards with in the locker room?
Yeah.
Good question.
Maybe that's the Scotts. Maybe they're a couple, and they're a same-sex couple, and that's what pisses Smails off about him. But he can't kick him out because the Scots
are really stretching it now, brother.
You think so?
I don't know. I think we could keep an eye on that. You could run with this.
Absolutely.
Because when we go to the dinner scene, when they're dancing around, let's see if the Scots are dancing with each other.
That would be
fantastic. There's women there with them. There are women there with them. That's probably what it is, but that would really piss Smails off.
It would.
Right. The Scots
would make me love the Scots even more.
Yeah.
Or maybe their first names are both Scott.
Yeah, right. The Scots. How many couples are like that? They got, you got like neighbors. You're just like, oh, I'm going to take the rest of these cookies over to the Scotts. They'll love them. And it's like, hey, Scott, how's it going, Scott?
Where's Scott?
Hey, you're a pair of Scots.
Right. This often happens with continuity, right? Sometimes a lot of times with a cigar is a different length or something. And a lot of times there's different numbers of martini drinking chicks. That changes also from shot to shot in a lot of movies.
The martini drinking chick wrangler isn't always on his game.
Right, on the set. Who's keeping track of the martini drinking chicks? I need more chicks. I need more martinis.
Or maybe the actor that played Drew Scott did that shot with the two girls and then said, you know what, cut for a second. Can I talk to you for a second, Harold? I don't know if the two women work in this scene with me, because I think it's funnier if I don't think Drew Scott would be,
Yeah.
And then Ramis says, but we just got such a great take. I think it's a keeper. I think we're going to use it.
I'll meet you halfway.
I'm just not feeling very happy about it. And,
All right, we'll put it together. No one will notice. I mean, what are the odds that someone sits down, watches the movie minute by minute, does a whole thing, picks it apart? It's never going to happen.
Things in the future called podcasts, and they just talk about anything and everything. And we're all just screwed because we have nothing. All people just sit there and make these podcasts about nothing, so they just talk.
Right. Everyone will have 60 listeners for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think
it'll work. Yeah, continuity, schmontinuity. Let's do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll meet you halfway. I'll leave him in the shot we just did, but I'll get rid of him in the next shot.
Yeah,
it'll be cool. Don't worry about it.
I love how Drew Scott. The more you watch this movie, the more you realize that he's like Zelig. He's
everywhere.
He's ever present, and it's like it's like they said in Breakfast Club. The janitor. He's like the eyes and ears of the institution. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you're just overseeing all the events that occur in every single scene, like some sort of passive god. Like he set them in place. He's just watching them all happen.
Yeah.
Now I think you're stretching.
Oh, no way. There's more chance of that than it is that the Scots are a gay couple in the movie. Or maybe both are true. He's a gay passive god, and he's got it.
Right? Drew Scott is Yahweh. He's all
right.
He am who is am.
Right.
Yeah.
I am who am. I'm Drew Scott, aka
you never see
Yahweh.
you never see God and Drew Scott in the same place at the same time.
That's true. That's true.
Where is Drew Scott when Bishop Pickering's getting electrocuted later on? We don't know.
That's true. And I just recently saw The Greatest Story Ever Told. No sign of Drew Scott. So it's like, I expect to see him in every scene at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some other notes here. One is that, like John F. Barman Jr., who plays Spaulding, Dr. Dow, the actor who plays Wang, is actually called Mr. Wang in the credits. And
oh, really?
He's played by he's played by an actor, Dr. Dow. That's all it says. And no offense. And like John F. Barman Jr., he only was ever in Caddyshack and Caddyshack: The Inside Story.
I want him to be a DJ or something, and that's his DJ name, Dr. Dow, and they put him as Wang. And Wang, by the way, I'll just call him Wang, as the character is consistently delighted. He is never anything but just so pleased to be there and so happy and just delighted by everything around him.
Yeah, and he's got that big smile on his face the whole time.
Like, do we even know? Yeah,
the tag on the hat.
He doesn't mind. It's
Who
fine.
knew that later on this would become a basic fashion thing that people do is have the tag on the hat.
Yeah, but I mean, do we even know if he never speaks? We don't know if he actually speaks English, do we?
No,
he's just sort of like there, and he follows Al around, and
I think the suggestion is that I'm guessing he doesn't speak English. Definitely didn't have to make the extra money from the as part of Screen Actor Guild rules. They said, look, just stand there and smile. You get your $50 a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Just be happy to be in the movie. That's your motivation. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not even acting. That's Dr. Dow. He's just happy to be in Caddyshack, and that's why he's smiling the whole time.
Dr. Dow.
Dr. Dow. Dan, I notice that you always say Al Czervik.
Yeah.
Is that how we pronounce it, or is it Czervik? I always say Czervik.
It's Czervik, I think, because earlier on when Smails. I've always sort of had the vague sense that I'm saying it wrong, but I don't know. I can't correct it. It's like a mental block. But earlier on, Smails refers to he goes Czervik construction.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. At any point in the movie does he say Czervik? I don't know where I got that.
You're just trying to be gross.
Well, I don't know. We've all. Oh, I see. Czervik.
See,
right.
Czervical.
All right, he makes a Czervical entrance.
That's what's going on in this
scene.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I say it wrong. I know, but that being said, we've all been saying Haverkamp wrong. I mean, we've been saying Havishkamp for 50 years, or for 30 years or something.
It's okay to be wrong about a movie that you've been watching for 30 years and grew up with, and you have your own reality about. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah. And what does it say for the sound engineer of this film that we don't know the names of the characters?
Right. Yeah.
The sound engineering and the editing, sound editing, is where they really saved the money in this movie.
They saved
right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when they give away the technical Oscar for best sound engineering, the way they tally that, the Academy, is they just count, do we know the names of the characters? How many scenes have the ADR? And it's just a simple tally.
And when they went to award it to Caddyshack, instead they just threw it on the ground. They just threw the Oscar on the ground and smashed it. Said,
dog food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, you don't get this. You did a terrible job. We only nominated you for the Oscar just to shame you for doing such a lousy technical job.
Curious now how often Drew Scott's going to show up. Like, I know he's in a lot of these scenes that I think I sort of subconsciously registered that he was always there, but like later on when they bet on Spaulding picking his nose, like he's hanging out. This is what I love about him. He's hanging out with Porterhouse and the guy who runs the Caddyshack, Lou Loomis. He's hanging out with the richest guy in the entire place, drinking martinis on the course.
Why, when's he down with
getting into a Porsche? Doesn't he? What's that?
When's he with Lou Loomis?
He's with Lou Loomis when they're betting.
Oh, that's right. He's in the bushes with them.
And he's the guy who says that kid will eat anything.
Yeah, like I got the inside. I got the inside scoop on him. I know him.
Yeah, I love it. I love that he's just like a guy whose entire life exists at this country club, but who hangs out with every level and every layer of person at the club.
As much as they hate him, they can't get rid of him.
Right.
Yeah.
He's untouchable.
He's a member. What are they going to do?
And the Scotts have been members for generations.
It is weird because, again, why? I don't know why they went to the effort to make sure that he was omnipresent. Like, you could eat, like they make an effort to establish that Rodney is there as his guest. They're like, Rodney's not a member, but this Drew Scott guy is a member, and Rodney's his guest. And like, do we need that at all? Are we gonna go, hey, what's Rodney doing there? I don't think he's a member. Why does he get to be in the movie? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I'm confused and shaking my fist at the screen in agitation.
I don't know why he's.
I'm not complaining that Drew Scott is there. I'm just saying it's weird the things that they pay attention to and then the things they just totally let fly out of the seat of their pants.
Right. And there has to be a conscious thing of like get this guy Drew Scott into every scene, for Christ's sakes. Maybe the actor knows Brian McConaughey. Brian McConaughey plays Drew Scott, and I don't know who that actor is, but he knew somebody, and they're like, listen, it says in my contract I have to be in literally every scene.
Yeah. He would make a great Drew Scott. Just a guy who sometimes shakes hands with Rodney and is just sort of there.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that he's like an ever-present observer is kind of lends it there could be like a whole Room 237 thing about this movie where...
Maybe it's the cult of Drew Scott.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe there's something going on.
It's as close to as I have to a religion myself, this one that you just brought up.
Do you have a polo shirt with a little Drew Scott on the breast?
Had it custom made.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a waste of time.
By the way, Bishop Bickering is played by Henry Wilcoxon. And one thing that's very interesting about this is that when I look up some of these actors, for instance, the guy who plays Bishop Bickering, and also the woman who plays Danny's mom.
Yeah.
Is like there's this old photo of them. It's like a very glamorous 1950s Hollywood photo of like a dashing person. Like, yeah, check it out. Like, and this guy Henry Wilcoxon, and you can kind of tell from he's got a bit of a He's got a bit of a Charlton Heston kind of maybe
I can see
look,
that.
a chiseled, kind of a chiseled. What's him called? No, I can't remember his name. The guy who had the stroke.
Kirk Douglas.
Oh, Kirk Douglas. Thank
What are
you.
you saying?
Yeah,
Stop it.
Jesus. He has a Kirk Douglas. He has an old Kirk Douglas from Spartacus look, and it's just like that's the guy who plays Bishop Bickering, Henry Wilcoxon. Wilcoxon, by the way, Wilcoxon means son of Wilcox.
And Brian McConaughey, right?
Yeah,
McConaughey.
Yeah.
He's it says that he's a children's book author as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Weird.
and he won an Emmy.
Sweet.
Emmy Award as part of the writing team for SCTV Network.
Oh, get out of here. That's cool.
That's
Well, so
great.
maybe it was just like a dude, like Harold Ramis knew him. He's like, hey, McChicken, get over here. I'll put you in a
He was
movie.
in Small Time Crooks,
Oh, really? That's the
Woody
Woody
Allen.
Allen. Right? Yeah.
Celebrity,
Oh, so.
Deconstructing Harry,
Oh, wow. And
Bullets Over Broadway.
This guy's like Diane Keaton, for Christ's sake.
Husbands and
That
Wives,
looked familiar.
Oh, he's in Husbands and Wives.
and then
love
to
that
throw
movie.
it, then to throw it all for a loop, he was in The Adventures of Bob and Doug McKenzie, Strange Brew.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Canadian guy, right? There's the
Yeah.
SCTV
Yeah, I think-
connection.
No, because
Yeah.
it says he's an American actor.
Well, you must have known
American
those guys. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, well, Harold Ramis was an SCTV guy.
Yeah.
He was, yeah,
He
and
did a lot
also
of stuff
Rick
with-
Moranis, right?
Yeah, but he can be.
I'm just noticing behind Bishop Bickering, as the creepy shot of Dr. Beeper as he's saying his line. And by the way, Bishop Bickering himself looks plenty creepy. He's like just beaming in a way that can't mean a good thing for anybody around. Like just beaming at Lacey, like, oh, isn't it wonderful? And there's this lovely woman here. But like behind him are Danny and I hate calling him Motormouth. That's a dumb name for him.
Yeah.
What else can we call it? The tall, goofy guy.
Let's call him something else. The character previously known as Motormouth.
Sure. Okay. I'm just gonna call him the tall, goofy guy
Okay.
because that's how I know him.
Let's do that.
But it's Danny and the tall,
The
goofy
pot
guy, and I
calling the
guess
Kettle Black right there.
I know. Right? Why do I hate the tall, goofy guy so much?
I hate that.
What issues do I have with the tall, goofy?
So
guy?
punchable.
Why can't I give the tall, goofy guy a break? Why do I have to be on his case all the time?
Stupid nerd.
I hate that
What Tom won't tell you is the two of them shared a berth on the SS Nerdlinger.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
His feet in my nose the entire time. It was awful.
Yep, they were in steerage. They had to lay down. They had to lay down horizontally.
Steerage.
7 weeks at sea.
7 weeks of Steve stacked on top of
This son
another.
of a bitch. Did not stop talking.
It was the nerd
Right.
trade.
I got a whole shipment of nerds. I got to get these nerds out of here. I got a whole other shipment coming at
He
you.
was talking
It was the triangular nerd trade.
He was talking about Star Trek. He would not stop talking about Star Trek,
They
and
were
he was
shipped- they
wrong
were
about
shipped-
everything he said.
They were
He didn't
shipped
get
from
any of the Star Trek facts right.
they were shipped from Connecticut to the to the Caribbean and traded for sugar cane.
Oh, God. Oh, we used to treat nerds so badly.
We need some nerds here to explain Star Trek to us. I got these bundles of sugar cane.
Right.
The SS Nerdlinger.
Unbelievable.
Need some
Yeah.
nerds to
Stacked
test
like
these,
matchsticks on top of each other.
these knockoff Buck Rogers action figures.
This
We
is
need
really
them tested
terrible.
by nerds. It's sad. But anyway, the three of them, Doug and tall goof guy and Danny, are just like posed behind Bishop Bickering, just like eyeballing
staggered.
Lacey. Yeah.
It almost looks like, because there's a depth to it, almost like an album cover. They're
It does
staggered.
kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would frame this still and put it on my wall. Actually, no, I wouldn't. That'd be a terrible idea. It'd be gross. It's just funny though. They're emotionless and motionless and just staring.
You can frame it and
Nice.
hang it next to your Lonnie Anderson poster.
Yeah. But then what if she gets
Lonnie.
jealous?
Yeah.
What if she gets jealous and stops talking to me?
What does she say to you, Tom?
She just she's just soothing stuff, you know, sort of reassuring. You know, I come home after a hard day.
Did she just
I
say
say-
Ness Nessman over and over again to you?
Yeah. The doctor and the Johnny Fever poster says, I like to watch.
Not this time, Dr. Fever.
And the Gordon Jump poster says, "And away we go." Hey, Dudley, I want to come over for some ice cream and sprinkles.
Oh, that's the worst. Did we talk about that episode of
No,
Different Strokes? That made me so uncomfortable.
very special.
Why do they do that? Why would they the very special episodes? Okay, some of them are like, okay, about, like Natalie gets attacked on Facts of Life. Like, okay, people have to be careful about, walking after dark.
Nancy Reagan goes on Facts of Life.
They have a
to say
disclaimer.
just say no.
They have a special
Just say
guest.
no. But then there's like there was like a I don't know. There were it seemed like they just wanted to be sadistic sometimes.
Yeah, there's no need for this
They
one.
would just call it a special.
Here's the problem.
Special.
Here's the problem that I have with this one, and it's a selfish problem, is that, and I watched WKRP in Cincinnati,
Of course.
and I liked Gordon Jump's. I liked Mr. Carlson. He seemed like a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
God is my witness.
But as a kid, I had a hard time understanding that, okay, Mr. Carlson is now on Different Strokes, and he's playing this creepy guy that owns a bike shop
Yeah.
who ends up molesting Dudley. In my brain, Mr. Carlson just did something really terrible.
Yeah,
And then I
Mr.
go
Carlson.
back and watch
As a kid, you can't
WKRP. I said,
decouple
Mr.
this
Carlson,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
And there was no. It was just a really disturbing episode. I didn't like it.
Absolutely. It also gave birth to the Dudley cough, which is when something awkward happens on a sitcom, and you hear like the audience is silent, but you hear one person go.
Yeah,
Live.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like Dudley comes out in that episode. He comes out in a towel.
Oh, it's so bad. And he never molested him, right? He only tried to.
Yeah, he was like getting him groomed up or something. To
Well,
molest
I don't
him.
know.
didn't quite happen.
He
You know what?
showed him cartoon porn.
Yeah, they never.
Yeah.
They never said that nothing happened.
They did, I thought, because maybe they thought it was going too far. But my memory is that that never actually happened. But I could
Oh,
be
but he
wrong.
got him drunk, didn't he? Didn't he like serve them
'cause he
drinks?
felt like he was
and-
going to throw up. He's like, I don't feel so good.
Arnold-
I hate that
Arnold-
kid.
Arnold fucking left. He just took off without Dudley.
Yeah.
He like
Yeah, that's
left
weird.
and like I guess he went to get help, but still, like who knows what
Yeah.
could have happened.
Dudley. Now, but Mike, as a kid, did you also see Dudley as being like this victim, even in other shows?
No, I did. It was something terrible, but it was Mr. Carlson that did it. Mr. Carlson
Yeah.
from WKRP.
Yeah, he
was
sold the
now-
radio station.
Then I'd go back to
started
that
a bike
show and watch that show, and I'd say, "How are you still running this radio station?
How do you live with yourself?
Right? How can?
How are
did
you
they
still?
just-
How are
is
you
he
not
like a
in trouble?"
Catholic priest? They relocated him from a bike store to a radio station.
Yeah, they changed his name and sent him off to Cincinnati.
Who are you, Gordon Jump, to tell Johnny Fever to get his act together when you're out molesting kids?
That's not right, man.
That's
For Pete, for those
and
of
you
who
saw
don't-
Gordon Jump like out at a restaurant or something. He might put you off your food.
Shame.
And
Yeah,
for those of you in the audience that don't know what we're talking about, go YouTube a very special episode
right.
of Different Strokes. Or
We should clarify. There's an episode of Different Strokes where a nefarious, or we don't know that, bike store owner lures Dudley and Arnold over to his house and shows him cartoon porn and gets him drunk and tries to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
and Arnold.
Tries to molest
Get out of
them.
there.
Yeah, it's bad. It was all creepy, and I saw it a couple times when I was a kid. And I never liked it.
You know what? The only thing the only television that I ever saw that was creepier than that as a kid was this is really weird. For ages, for decades, I was the only person who remembered this. But in like the last 10 years or something, I see it creeping up on the internet, like people talking about it. There's the episode of Little House on the Prairie with the girl who would later be in Repo Man, but she's a little girl. She's like, I don't know, she's like 12 or something. She's the cute girl who all the boys are, it's like spy through the window and see if we can see her getting changed. And she gets raped.
What?
Well, I'm laughing because it's insane. I'm laughing because I'm
laughing?
seeing
Yeah,
Michael
that's
Landon sitting at his typewriter typing this
Cut
thing.
it right there.
She gets
Cut it right
raped.
there.
She gets raped in the woods by a clown, a guy in a clown
No,
mask.
on Little House in the Prairie.
On Little House, a 2-part episode of Little House on the Prairie. They spent 2 hours
You know
on
what that's
this.
like? That didn't happen, Tom.
It absolutely happened. You,
what
can
that is?
look it
That's
up. The name of the
that's like
episode is
It's like
Sylvia.
you're laying on the couch on a Sunday afternoon watching Little House on the Prairie.
After Gordon Jump has gotten me drunk.
You're just watching because you'd watch that and it'd be like a soothing show. They're just learning life lessons very nicely.
Not this one.
Churning butter. And you fall asleep on the couch and then you start dreaming about a totally fucked up version of that show.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
sleep.
what that episode would be.
Clown will rape me.
Right. Tom had too many steakums, and he went to sleep with too many steakums in his belly.
Yeah, and you nod off, and
he made this weird dream about Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah,
That almond chicken isn't going
mashup.
down right.
It's like a mashup between Mad and Max Beyond Thunderdome and Little House on the Prairie.
I am telling you that this happened. And then she gets pregnant, and her dad is a jerk about it. And Albert is in love with her. That's why it's a story. Like Albert wants to like save her and run off with her and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's okay. I'm telling you the whole thing.
And then she goes to your middle school, and for some reason, there's not a 7-Eleven there. It's a roller coaster. And
talk to me. Yeah, there's like a pool where my bed's supposed to be. She won't
You
let me
wake up on the
in.
couch and you got drool on your shirt.
I got almond chicken all over myself.
And you say, is it, how long have I been asleep? Your dad's just getting up for work and you're looking at you like you're crazy.
yeah. Laura Ingalls Wilder, Dudley, what are you doing on the SS Nerdlinger?
And it's one of those Saturday afternoon sleeps where you fall asleep on your arm and you wake up and it's numb.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You got pins and needles and you're looking at it and you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And the only thing on TV is some orange movie from the 70s, like some orange horror
I
movie.
believe that's true. I wonder if they thought about the way that it would affect those kids to maybe we had mentioned this before with the kid Danny from The Shining, who they sort of shot around the fact that it was a horror movie. But, that's some heavy stuff to be even, put an actor through.
I haven't even told you the ending yet.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Albert is going to she's freaked out because she's pregnant. Obviously, she's like 15 or 16 or something, maybe 16. She's really young. And Albert's in love with her, and he's like, okay, we'll run away together, and we'll raise the kid and whatever and stuff. And her dad's being a jerk and like saying, oh, we'll move away, and you'll never see that boy again. Because I think he blames Albert. Nobody believes her that she got raped or anything. And Albert's like, Albert goes and trusts the blacksmith who you've never seen on the show before, which is immediately suspicious. And he's like, hey, I'm going to meet Sylvia out in that barn out there, and we're going to run away together. Can you bring us some food or something for the trip? He's like, okay, sure. And he shows up in his clown mask because, oh my God, he's the guy. And there's a whole kerfluffle, and she's like on a ladder, and she's trying to get away from him. She falls and fucking dies, and that is the end of the 2-hour episode that you've been watching with your family.
No.
Or for 2 hours.
No, you fell asleep.
It's not even billed as a special episode. There's nothing very special about it. It's just like, oh, here's your regularly scheduled episode of Little House on the Prairie.
Jesus.
Written by Michael Landon.
That sounds like a special victims unit, Little House on the Prairie. Little House on the Prairie SVU. That was what that one was.
Oh, my God.
Little House on the Thunderdome. What you did is you fell asleep on the couch on a Sunday afternoon watching.
I wish.
Right, and you were thinking a Little House.
Yeah.
Yeah. I conflated Little House and Motel Hell.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right, back to the minute.
Dudley.
Minute. I don't even remember any minute.
Well, listen.
So Al shows
while
up.
we're young.
Well, we're young and does great. Yeah.
That's what people are saying at this episode. Finish it up while we're young.
Great line here where, he bets him the $100 he slices in the woods. I love that kind of thing where just like the brash, I don't even know you, but I'm going to bet you slice in the woods right now.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. He doesn't have any reason for for betting. He's only doing it to be a jerk.
Well, that's the whole beauty of Rodney. He just looks at things and says things. So
he's mildly annoyed.
It's a stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
He plays Al Czervik as a stream of consciousness. And he just comes down. Okay, fine. Hey, over there. What are you going to do while we're young? Hey, $100 you slice into the woods, and then we get that.
Ego.
Yeah,
or all id or whatever the one.
The consciousness.
Yeah,
jerk is the word you're looking for. Jerk.
Yeah,
he's just all jerk.
And then Ted Knight just delivers.
Oh my God!
Gambling is illegal, sir, and I never slice.
And this is
brilliant line.
His move with the golf club as he's setting up his shot, whatever you call it. What do you call it? You're teeing off, he's settling the thing. He can act with a golf club. He's incredible. He
looks like a total pro. He looks exactly like the kind of douchebag that, Oh, you know what? I used to. This reminds me of when I was. For one summer, I got into like that frisbee golf. Do you know what that stupid?
Now wait a minute. We went off on the whole hipster kickball league thing episodes ago, and you're telling me that you were in a frisbee golf thing.
I was not in a thing. I just did it. It's at parks, so you can just go do it at a park. It doesn't. It wasn't part of a league.
All right, I'm keeping an eye on you.
You can be at a picnic, Tom, and arrange for a kickball game with your church group or your friends or your family or whoever it is that your Satanist meetup group that's
Now
at that fucking park, right? You can do that, but what you can't do is be like, I'm going to join an ironic kickball league with my friends, and we all have beards and perfectly coiffed hair. Go fuck yourself.
All right.
Anyways.
I was just looking out for you. I was worried about you.
Yeah. Point is, I was like 15 years old or whatever it was.
Oh, that makes a difference.
And it was, something like that. And I had a summer where I was like, I was into this because it was a park near me and I would play it. And I would go there and there'd be all these hippies with and they had it's like they had the Al Czervik's bag, it's like there's like 15 different discs in there for different types of shots and everything. And I just had one Frisbee. I just thought, well, I'll just throw it. And I would say Frisbee golf, and they're like, no, it's disc golf. Okay, it's not Frisbee golf. And so I was like, listen to me, dude. We're throwing Frisbees around here. Are we kidding each other with this shit?
Let's reinvent the wheel.
And so anyway, they were all these dudes, and they're like, they got their roach clips, and they're like at the thing. And then I remember when I was waiting to tee off, quote unquote tee off, they're up there. I'm waiting for this next guy, and he's doing exactly that thing. He's doing the thing he's doing where it's like they're over preparing, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna throw it against a tree like everybody else does. And I wanted to tell everybody that. You stupid asshole. Just throw the fucking Frisbee. Yeah, Frisbee. I said it.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
And it's I just reminded me of that, and I haven't thought about that in years.
I want there to be a very special episode of Dan's life story sitcom where he just wants to go to the park and play Frisbee, and a team of hipster Frisbee golf players start to lure him in, and his friends are warning him like, no, they're not playing Frisbee. They're playing like disc golf, and you're going to get trapped into that whole world, and we're worried about you. We're going to have an intervention.
Tom, just stop, please.
Hey,
I was excited.
You'd be excited if Tom got involved in a sport, right, Mike?
Yeah, come on. I'm trying to pitch a sports
Would
thing.
it be exciting to you? Which way would you go if he said, I'm going to get into disc golf? Should you say, Tom, just skip it? Or would you say, well, at least he's involved in a sport?
Just do something.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Don't just do something. Sit there.
What if I take up the paddle ball thing with the rubber ball and you bounce it off the paddle with the rubber band? Is that a sport?
Oh, like in...
Hey, I have to interrupt for a second. As we're recording, I'm getting a text from my cousin. Mm-hmm. A series of texts.
This just in. Your Caddyshack minute has me laughing out loud. Onion milk. How many kids in the house? Are you diabetic? Get the belt. I couldn't sleep the other night and started listening and about fell out of bed. Jill was fast asleep and I'm laughing out loud. Ha.
Yeah,
so there we go.
Indiana Jones
fan mail. Yeah.
That is fan mail.
Indiana Jones minute get a lot of laugh out louds?
Yeah.
One or two.
Do they get that in their listeners' crusade page?
It's
right. Do you learn about Dudley and Little House?
There's not been one mention of Little House on the Prairie on the entire Indiana Jones minute so far.
Right.
Which I'll work on for the next season.
No.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just going to work on it.
That's a shit minute, if you don't mind me saying. No.
Why would I mind?
Go ahead and listen to the Indiana Jones minute. I guess it's great.
Mm-hmm. It'll do.
It's not funny. It's not fun.
Tide you over.
Yeah, I'll tide you over. Why? If you're waiting for another minute to get...
This show's only going to take it a year and a half, but as soon as that happens, then you can go listen to the Indiana Jones minute.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, folks, you listen, you do the math. Don't listen to us. Listen to this. Listen to the Indiana Jones minute. Listen to them both. And you tell me, you count up the laughs, and you tell me who wins that one.
Why would you ask our audience to do math? That's horrible.
We could bring up very special childhood molestation episodes of TV shows and still get more laughs than the Indiana Jones minute.
There was this is what I started to say before. There's an episode of Different Strokes, and Conrad Bain comes out in front. Tonight's special episode you might not want to watch with your kids, or if you do watch with your kids, tell them that they're going to get freaked out. And it wasn't even like an issue. It wasn't even like child rapists or drugs or anything. It was Kimberly, was that her name? The sister?
Yeah, she
gets like attacked by this guy and her. I don't even know where she's like in her apartment or something. I think she has an apartment by this point or something. And she gets attacked by a dude and like sort of kidnapped or something. But it's not even like, it's just like an upsetting episode. It's not like there's no special message. There's no like, there's a learning moment. or something like that, or she was at somebody else's house or something, or I don't know.
Was it just during the Oliver days when Oliver showed up?
Oh yeah, the red-haired kid.
Yeah.
Wait, was he Oliver too?
Yeah.
There's Oliver from the Brady Bunch, but then was that kid Oliver, the little redheaded kid?
No, I've read that.
His name was
wasn't it? I was trying to think of his name.
Pepper.
I didn't like that when there's a new kid showed up, an obvious shark jumping moment where they have to just introduce a new character.
Yeah.
I wonder where in the different strokes, where in the different strokes timeline did that very special episode appear? Where do these I would bet you very special episodes tend to come way later when they're trying to drum up
I think you're
interest.
right. These were later. Yeah, because I remember Arnold, even in the Dudley porn one, was kind of older and less cute, which is maybe why Gordon Jump let him get away. He was more into Dudley. Is that wrong to say?
Yeah,
Diddley?
Ron did he like Dudley more? He liked it. Oh, that's bad. That should never have happened.
No, but it did, and everybody knows about it. Everybody's sitting around their televisions.
I bet he still gets questions about it. He's probably 60 years old, Dudley.
Oh my Dudley. Right. Dudley.
You see that actor at you see him around town or something, you just say, you signed this doll where Gordon Jump touched you.
That's his MO. We got him.
Oh my god! Even All in the Family did that. It wasn't even a special episode, but the episode where Edith gets attacked.
Edith gets sexually assaulted too. That's right. Yeah. I didn't know what to do. I watchy. I can. Wow.
So Oliver was from the Brady Bunch.
I knew that.
But Michael Oliver played Sam.
Oh, Sam. Yeah.
And he was
Sam,
Southern.
Right. Wow.
And he was the Terminator too.
That's when Conrad or Mr. D married Dixie Carter.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wanted to punch the kid in one of the first episodes.
Sure.
Where he's like, "Mama, can I have a gulp of milk?" And
he says a gulp.
She goes, "A gulp," and she goes, "Sure." And she goes over and she pours it, and it goes, "Gulp." She goes, "How many gullops you want?" She goes, "I'll take 2 gullops of milk." And she pours it, and then you hear gulp, gulp. And Arnold is sitting there.
Terrible.
And Arnold is looking at it, and he goes, "Can I?" He goes, "I'm going to pour myself a gulp of milk." And Sam goes, "It won't work for you because you're not Southern." And he pours it, and there's no sound, there's no gulp. And I said, "Why can't?" And they all laughed. Why can't Arnold have a gulp of milk? Why can't he have 2 gullops?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry. It sucks for me. I don't get to be Southern and say disgusting words like gulp.
Yeah, I'm just an orphan.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just an orphan.
You're a black urban orphan, so you can't have a gullup. Only Southern whites can have gullups.
And I'll tell you what, that's the way I took it. And I said, "You racist bastard."
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there eating microwave steakums as a latchkey kid.
Right.
I let myself in the back door.
Wiping melted cheddar from his mouth, going, "This is an outrage."
I'm settling in for my 5 hours of TV after school while nobody's home.
Dear NBC.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something.
You put me right off my steakums.
Yeah.
There'd be a 1 gullup to 1 wallop ratio at my household.
Gullup.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm not kidding. I feel sick to my stomach. I feel sick to my stomach after hearing gullup.
But you know what? Now that I look back on it, there was that feeling like, we're superior because we're 2 white folks from the South, and we're going to have ourselves 2. I'll tell you what, boy, I'm going to give you 3 gullops of milk. Gullup, gullup, gullup. And Arnold's just sitting there saying, "God, that looks like fun. I wish I could have a gullup of milk." I say, "You can't have a gullup of milk because you're not like us."
You just have a standard glass of white milk.
And that's what it was.
No gullops for you.
Is like a God knows 10-year-old kid saying, "You know what?
Oh my
F
God.
you, Dixie Carter. F the South." Right. You know what? If Arnold wants 10 gullops of milk, you know what you should have said to him? You should have said, "Sure, sweetheart. You know what? Let me pour the gullops for you so you can experience a gullup. You know what? I'm going to give you 10 gullops. Gullup, 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 gullup." No. She goes, "I'm sorry. You're not Southern. You're not like a..."
Stop saying gullup.
Yeah, no more Gullop. I'm actually going
We
to
brought up all the most nauseating episodes of Different Strokes.
Yeah, can we go back to Clown Rapist instead of saying Gullop over and over again? Please.
We brought all the gross. There's plenty of good episodes of Different Strokes. We haven't brought up one of them.
I don't know. Is that true? Are there any good episodes of Different
You remember when
there aren't any. I hated when. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
You remember when in 1984 they were at the playground, and Arnold was talking about wanting to throw a baseball or something. I remember what it was, and who should appear behind him?
Don't tell
Lance
me.
Parrish.
No
And
way.
He turns to him and he goes, "Hey, you're Lance Parrish from the world champion Detroit Tigers."
Yeah,
He
baby.
goes, "That's right, kid. How are you?" And there's that.
Pause for applause.
Yeah, that's for Dan.
Oh, that's fantastic. I got to go look that one up.
Yeah.
I like all the episodes with the Tigers in it. They were in Magnum PI and it's gold.
Yeah, Lou and Trammell.
Lou and Trammell, and they're the worst actors you ever saw. And they got like a lot of lines.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Like 3 or 4 lines each, and they're in this bar, and like for some reason Tom Selleck doesn't recognize them as the Detroit Tigers' second baseman and shortstop, even though they're ultra famous and he's supposedly a huge fan.
Blasphemy.
He doesn't recognize them, and then they go like, "Oh, you'll find us. We're gonna be between first base and third base," and he's like, "Wait a minute, there are no seats between first base and third base."
They just smile.
And then it doesn't dawn on this dummy that he's talking about Sweet Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell.
We're watching it saying we're just embarrassed for them. We felt like it's an embarrassment to watch their acting.
Yeah.
Were they better than Don Drysdale on the Brady Bunch? He was a baseball player. I only know him because he was on the Brady Bunch.
Wow.
He had to like talk. Stop it! I'm actually gonna every time you do it, like the lining in my stomach just kind of curdles and kind of starts to drip onto itself.
Sure,
I don't want to look it up.
How many Gullops you want? I'll take 2 Gullops, Mama. Gullop.
These guys aren't good actors, but let me tell you. Let's see Jordan Jump block a pitch in the dirt, or let's see Tom Selleck try to turn 2. No way.
Yeah.
What makes Gullop more disgusting is picturing that kid with that hair and that haircut. The red, like kind of bowl cut, kind of flopsy, kind of saying Gullop like he's a cute kid. I'm going to absolutely vomit all over this microphone.
So interested in it. He was so excited. His eyes lit up. And he's like, that, and he could just say, "God, can I have a gulp of milk too?" And they're like, no.
Fuck it.
No.
Why'd you even ask?
Yeah.
What made you think that you could have a Gullop? What about you made you think that you were relevant enough to have a Gullop?
Yeah.
Right.
You just go have a glass of milk, you sad, boring little fuck.
You're equal, but you can't have a Gullop.
Yeah.
Right.
I like you. I'll hang out with you, but you don't get a Gullop.
No.
Right.
You can't marry my daughter, and you can't have a Gullop.
No.
I really hated when I was watching Different Strokes, and they had an episode where someone's this is the stupidest. It's this, and it happened all the time in these sitcoms. Someone's running a vacuum cleaner, and what's his name? Conrad Bain is trying to say something to somebody. He's talking to the maid or somebody, and he's speaking very loudly, and he said something about black kids. And then they turn off the vacuum at just the right time, and like the kids overhear him saying black kids don't belong in white houses or something. Or it was something where they overhear it, but they only heard like half of the sentence, and like they've got an entire episode based on this.
Can I just where in a sentence would that line?
Well, it was like the vacuum's running like zzz, right, and it's like the vacuum's running, and then Tom, you make a vacuum noise up until I say the word said, okay?
Okay.
Go. The guy down at the store said black kids don't belong in white houses.
What, man?
Like
What's the
that.
matter with you?
All right, I get you now. Okay.
Yeah, right. Something like that. But I just made it up, but it's something like that, right?
I need to apologize to our
and
listeners.
the whole episode is based on it, and it made me nuts. Even when I was a kid, I was like, why doesn't somebody just go ask him? Did you just say this? And the guy'd be like, no, of course not. Don't you see the vacuum was running? And you could just explain it episode over in 10 seconds.
But the episode ends with Arnold at the Port Authority bus station.
I'll never have a gulp of milk again. Oh. They don't got gullops back at the orphanage.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They might. They might have fucking Gullops.
It's like a Three's Company episode. It's the big misunderstanding.
I was gonna say, yeah, that
That's
or
what all Three's Company episodes are. Jack Tripper, he's in the room, it's locked, he's with one of his roommates, he's got his hand stuck in a vase, and they're trying to get it out. And Mr. Furlican over here,
got the door.
oh, don't do it, it's too tight, or it's like all this sexual innuendo. They have a whole series, they probably won Emmys for writing that.
They had one where they were in the shower. He's like, "Oh, Chrissy, come help me hang the shower curtain." And they go in there and shut the door, and Mr. Furley comes in. His ear goes right to the door, and he goes, "It's not long enough." "Oh, I'll just unfold it first."
Oh, yeah, that's not long enough, right? And then she drops something, and he goes, "Oh, that's quite a boner."
Yeah, that slides into your ass almost perfectly.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Can I get a gulp?
You know what?
How come I can't have a gulp?
That's it. Minute's over, Dan. I'll tell you what.
Minute's over.
You know what? That's it. I'm done. You finish it up with him, Dan. I'm out of here.
Off.
Yeah, I'm signing off. I'm done with this.
I'm leaving too. You can't leave. I gotta leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Caddyshack Minute. Please join us next time for minute 22. Caddyshack here on the Caddyshack.
You can't do that, Tom. You can't.
Hey, you scratched my ankle.